Good afternoon, Itir and Isha Kandugu I hope you're doing well. Let me first check the sound as usual. Okay, the sound is loud and clear. That's beautiful. Yes, you have read the title correctly. This Wudjau said something very interesting about the so-called Israel Stele, and in parentheses, Victory Stele of Merneptah. Now, we're not best friends, but you have to recognize when someone says something accurate, and particularly when it gives some insight about a subject matter. And uh, he says something very interesting indeed, and I will show you. As a matter of fact, I will share the link and show you now. Before I forget, um, people who know him, or if he happens to hear this video, you might as well let him know that there is some background noise, and usually it's this type of noise that when you have some cables connected, maybe he's using a mixing table. So you might want to look into that because uh if people have some good headphones, they will hear it a lot. So that's just for the record. I'm not trying to cop please, I'm not trying to make friends or anything like that, but he said something that's accurate. And um no matter how you feel about some person, what situation you have with a person, you shouldn't be like every time he says something, I'm just going to try to refute it for the sake of it. That's not the way to go. You know what I'm saying? So let me just share what he said. That is once again interesting about the so-called Israel Stella. Um, oh no, yes, no, that's the wrong one. I shared the wrong link. Hold on, sharing the wrong video here. Share. There it is. So it's their latest live stream, which is 10 hours long. I'm starting from minute or hour 8, minute 3, second 25. Okay, that's the timestamp. So let's listen up. I'm gonna mute my mic.
But what people that I've seen talk about this, they missed the fact that this mouth has a logographic stroke beneath it. This immediately tells us that this set of glyphs is arranged in what's called group writing. So the logographic stroke changes the representation of this particular glyph. So it's not exact. And a logographic stroke, by the way, is a single stroke that indicates that the glyph that it accompanies is to be read as a word, which is why we say logographic. The word logo comes from logos, which means word. So it's a glyph, graphic, a grapheme or a glyph that represents a word. So this open mouth with its logographic stroke represents a word, not just a single character of a word. And this is what I don't see people point that out. They just skip over this thing. They just read, Y S or Z, Y R I A, and then say R. And then see the throw stick determinative and the man and woman and the plural strokes, the plural determinative. That's what they do. They miss this logographic stroke. So anyway, so I'm just informing everybody who's watching that this logographic stroke is there for a reason. And logographic strokes indicate that the glyph company is a whole word. So what we have here is Y, Z or S, Y R I, capital A, or diacritic 3, and then we have a whole word. This whole word um, is usually Ra for the word mouth.
Okay, so you've heard it. Um, Now, when he uses the term three, he means the aleph. You know, but many people use the digit three because the aleph is a symbol that we don't have on our keyboard or keypad, however you want to call it. Um, so yeah, I've missed that actually myself, and it's very interesting because I have to share my screen here. this will actually give us some insight to the fact that it should be read ECDR, and this is separate. This mouth glyph that stands for the R that they like to transliterate as the letter L for a strange reason. This one they would transliterate it as a R. It's not really a strange reason. It's because they're trying to make it spell Israel. You see. Now let's have a look here. We have this is from Claude Obzoma's book called Hieroglyphic Egyptian, page 247. So this is the single stroke here, Gardiner reference Z1. Okay. Let me check that you can hear me loud and clear though. Yes, you can hear me. Um, okay, so yes, so we are told, and that's the symbol here. So vertical stroke, ideogram, it can stand for wa, which means one. In Arabic, they have wahet, but I'm not claiming it's related, I'm just saying. Determinative for uniqueness and also for ideogram. Then we have James P. Allen on his Middle Egyptian, page 33. You can see the page number here. 3 multilateral signs, 3.3 phonograms as ideogram. And he says, since the bilateral signs are all pictures of objects, they can also be used as ideograms to write the words for those objects. When used this way in Middle Egyptian, the bilaterals normally have no phonetic complements and usually are written with a stroke. For example, per with the single stroke glyph for house. Per is PR. When you transliterate it, we will pronounce it per because the convention of Egyptology is to add the vowel E between two consonants. So it's a PR. Or hedge. Now, hedge is that H there. Basically, for English speakers, it's your normal H, but for French speakers, it's not really our H. And then you have the J, which is transliterated with a D on the line. It's like a combination of a D and a J, J. But it's the same as your J when you pronounce James, you see. So hedge, which stands for mace, here stands for mace because of the single stroke. Hedge can also mean bright, white, luminous, but it's okay. The stroke is a signal meaning read the sign for what it represents, not for how it sounds. The same convention is used with some of the unilateral signs, for instance, R mouth. You see, and you've heard of what Wudjau pronouncing ra. Sometimes you will see the R, the mouth is transliterated with the R, but some Egyptologists ultimately would put the aleph, yes, the aleph in parentheses because they figured that this is how it was pronounced, but the actual aleph does not appear on the glyphs, and they do that with other symbol as well. So as a matter of fact, I was commenting on our discussion and I started saying, oh, notice he said imira, and then I said, oh, that's okay because sometimes they put the aleph in parentheses and that's what it is. So now finally, same book, page 505. Z strokes and figure, Garden reference Z1, stroke used as determinative of signs meant to be read as ideograms rather than phonograms. You have some reference to some lesson or chapter, some part of his book anyway. Occasionally transferred to phonograms. Example, you have head, um, upon, preposition from head, face. Determinative in wa, one, also ideogram for same, written 1 to 9 times, usually taller, as ideogram for numerals 1 to 9. Substitute for A1. Okay, so here that's the so-called Israel Stele or Merneptah victory stela or stele. So that's very interesting because it appears that this should be read ECDA and this is separate. So you can pronounce it like a Z, like you say in America, or Z, like they say in England. if you want, because in the Old Kingdom we are told that this was pronounced like a Z or Z, so you can say Iziria, So I wish that I would hear more interesting stuff coming from people that I have criticized for saying strange claims. But once again, the title is there. I'm not trying to make friends. I'm not trying to cop please, but there's no point in trying to refute something that's accurate. And we've seen lately some people who try to do that with some information that I have presented, but they have yet to deal with my source, which is the Wörterbuch, the German dictionary. You know what I'm saying? They talk a good game. You know what I'm saying? You ask them a simple question, and they take 30 minutes to answer, and they don't substantiate why. What was the quote? The new pseudo quote?
Yeah. I mean, his pharaoh could have been a Greek, but I don't.
Well, I
Why
tell
did
you
you
what,
remove him?
Haru was Greek.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because one of the stories of Heru being conceived is during the Greek time period.
So apparently, Heru is Greek, and we're going to see what methodology was used and how he or whoever made that claim that he might have repeated if it doesn't come from him, how they came to that conclusion. All right. So stay safe, stay healthy, and if I am allowed to buy the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. Hotep.
Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving Medu Nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video Kemet and Ma'at before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more. I just want to let everyone know who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta Nature class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta Nature lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta Nature, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody is interested in learning the Meta Nature, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome, awesome, awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hana Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medu Neture classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class. And all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medu Netia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.